Hi guys! On today's adventure, your guide to Peshwami is taking you to see the beautiful Queen's Bath of Hampi. This is the first ruined structure you would see when you enter into the royal center from the Kamalapura Hampi main road. For some mysterious reason, this was called the Queen's Bath, but in all probability, this was a royal pleasure complex for the king and his wives. It's a bit assuming plain rectangular building from the outside, but when you get inside, the story is different. The whole building is made with a veranda around, facing a big open pond at the middle. Projecting into the pond are many balconies. An aqueduct terminates in the pond. The balconies are decorated with tiny windows and supported by lotus bud tip brackets. The whole pool is open to the sky. This brick-lined pool is now empty, but it's believed once fragrant flowers and perfumed water filled this bathing pool. At one end of the veranda, you can see a flight of steps giving access to the pool. The domical roof of the veranda is a spectacle itself. Just go around the veranda looking at each dome, as they are all designed to a set of a unique style. Also, on the floor of the empty pool, you can spot small sockets, probably meant to support the pillars that were part of the canopy. The whole building from the inside looks like some ancient indoor aqueduct complex. The Queen's Bath outside around the building is a big water canal encircling the building. You need to cross that at some places where a bridge-like structure is made. Probably this was designed to prevent intruders from walking into the place where the royal women folk took baths. The Queen's Bath in Hampi is a colossal bath that amplifies the architectural excellence prevalent during the days of the Vijayanagara Empire. It is located close to the entrance of the royal enclosure in Hampi. Constructed during the reign of the Vijayanagara Empire, the Queen's Bath impresses visitors even today, more than 500 years after it was built. The Queen's Bath is an elaborate structure with a simple exterior and an ornate interior. Built in the Indo-Islamic style of architecture, the striking enclosed space is designed to be unique than any other private or public bath in Hampi. The Queen's Bath is a rectangular building. The structure has an area of 30 square meters. A large sunken bath constructed in the center of the structure has an area of 15 square meters and a depth of about 1.8 meters. The bath is surrounded by beautiful arched corridors, having pillars and projecting ornate balconies with windows. Each arched bay surrounding the bath is decorated with intricate carved stucco ornamentation on the ceilings and the vaults placed above the arched bays. There are stone steps that lead down to the floor of the bath. However, there is no ceiling over the bath, and it is open to the sky. Hampi has an obstinous network of aqueducts and canals that are built to provide water to the buildings, tanks, baths, and temples during the ancient days. Like other public baths in Hampi, the Queen's Bath is also connected to an aqueduct of fresh water supply. The building has a moat surrounding it on all sides as well. There's a bridge across to the moat and to reach the bath. It is believed that the moat was designed to prevent anyone from entering the building while the bath was in use. The Queen's Bath is an empty structure now. Its walls have lost their shine. The building has lost its glory. The floor of the bath has some empty sockets that were once used to support pillars. The canopy is supposed to have been made of wood and is said to have been burnt. As we are walking towards Hampi from Kamalapura, and from this side, Queen's Bath is the first significant monument of this zone. It lies outside the walled enclosure of the urban center towards its southeast corner. The surroundings of the Queen's Bath is well maintained with green grass in the open grounds, and a narrow moat runs around it. Its exterior is plain with small arched window openings at regular intervals. The structure is built around a 1.8 meter deep pool. In contrast to its plain exterior, the interior has graciously been carved with arched corridors. Its corridor is roofed with ornate walls of varying designs. Traces of elaborate stucco work is still visible on its ceilings. Once a tower adorned one side of the pool, with delicate balconies rising above the parapet, but it is completely lost now. The pool-facing balconies of the structure, with arched windows and delicate plaster work, tell of how once beautiful this place was. This building was constructed in 1529 to 1542. The structure, though it is known as Queen's Bath, it is more of a representative name owing to its vicinity to the royal center. The probability that this pool was used by the Queen and the noblewomen is unknown. The way the women quarters were guarded, it is difficult to imagine that the queens were given permission to come and bath here. The restrictions were so stringent that they were not seen by any men except by some old man of high rank by favor of the king. The women who accompanied the king here were different from the royal women. Even those women were elegant and expensive dresses, and most of them are believed to be beautiful, elegant, and talented as well. The women of the palace, on the other hand, lived in well-guarded portions of the palace that had strict rules for entry and exit. One king is believed to have had over 500 to 600 wives. The queens lived in the palace complex, in cloisters, like in a monastery. All these queens invariably had separate officials attached to them to take care of them. The furniture and culinary inside every queen's room was of gold and silver. The king's bed used to be even more opulent. It was gold-plated and had golden legs. Expensive pearls were embedded in its rounded bolsters. The mattresses were of silk. The women of the palace had all material comforts, and the one thing most of them longed for was the king's attention. The lotus-shaped fountain in the middle of the queen's bath once sprouted perfumed water, spreading the fragrance of romance in the air. In one side of the pool, we see the remains of a collapsed aqueduct that fed water into the pool. This aqueduct was part of an extensive network of water supply systems in Hampi. Water, as always, was an important factor for any civilization to be founded and for it to survive. The complex water supply was fed by both a river and by rainwater. They created anacuts and fed fields, stepwells, and numerous water tanks for religious and entertainment purposes.